I was introduced to this. I have had a wonderful friend of many, many years, decades, that was a holistic practitioner. But he was a conventional medicine. He was a family practice physician, but he was kind of chafed under the yoke of conventional medicine, and he was always looking for holistic things. And we would trade holistic stories back, or we would trade, I just heard about colloidal silver. I just heard about blue-green algae. I just heard about this. We would go back and forth for years and years. We did that. And he called me one day and said, Beth, I have found the most profound product I have ever, or biotech technology I've ever heard of in my life. I think it's going to change medical science as we know it. And I looked at, I was listening to him and I said, I've never heard you talk like this before. What is this stuff? I want it right now. I don't care what it is. I want it, but tell me how it works. Because he knows I love the science too. So he was explaining the science behind it, and it made such elegant, simple, common sense to me that I just said, this is awesome. My husband and I, we've been training horses for 60 years now, I guess. I shouldn't even say that. But since we were small children, anyway, we want to continue to do so. We train racehorses, young racehorses on our farm here. And I wanted to stay busy. And every horseman you'll ever meet has aches and pains in their bodies. And we've just been we've been hurt a lot, but we've been incredibly fortunate that we've healed back very well. But we knew that the clock was ticking. So I loved this whole technology. I said, I want this. I bought as much as I could at the time. They had a package, everything changes. This was back 9 months before the official launch of the product. It was in February of 2010. So we got in very, very early, and none of us knew much about it except it couldn't hurt us, and it was just having these incredible effects on every living thing and every living cell. We immediately, yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Beth, what did he tell you in the beginning that it made so much sense?
That's a great question. He said, this is something that is native to our body. It's exactly what we have in our bodies anyway. And as we age, or as we get injured, or as we get an illness or something like that, our bodies don't work as well, which made perfect sense to me. He said, and those cells then get damaged. All disease come from damaged cells. Made sense to me. He said, and when you introduce these molecules, which are native to our bodies, they're made in every cell. And when the cell's damaged, you don't have as much of those molecules as you need to heal. So you just replenish these molecules and your body can heal itself. I said, perfect. That sounds absolutely perfect.
Did he tell you what it was made from? And did he tell you what it tasted like?
Yes, he started off by saying this stuff is made from salt and water. I said, Rob, are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding. I said, really? You seriously? I said, come on. I thought he was pulling my leg. And then obviously we got into the whole breaking the sodium and the chloride apart, breaking the hydrogen and the oxygen apart. And I just ate it up. I just thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard. So, I was immediately wanted us to be on it. And back then it was only 4 ounces a day. None of us knew that more was better. And so I brought enough home. I wanted to start, my husband and I both on it. I started on it, was so excited about it, just because I thought we were going to stay younger longer. My husband at the time had a head cold, and I brought it home and I said, he's used to me doing this stuff, like, yeah, here, try this. This is something new. And he said, yeah, he's like long suffering. I said, look, this will help you get over your cold, I think. So he started drinking it. And interestingly enough, to me, it tasted just like mineral water. When he took a sip of that, he said, oh my gosh, this is the worst. This stuff is so bad. This is so horrible. I said, you are such a baby. Will you suck it up? But since then, we have heard that the more you need the product, the more your cells are damaged or compromised, the stronger the taste. So I was reasonably healthy at the time. He was really sick at the time, so it tasted horrible to him. 3 days later, he was well. He said, I don't know why I made such a fuss about this stuff. It tastes fine. But since then, we found out that that's a pretty substantial difference, and it seems to be extremely important to medical people or to scientists. The fact that the taste changes depending on how badly your body needs it. So all of those things spoke volumes to me. It was just remarkable, and we continued to have some really phenomenal personal experiences. In the meantime, I said, every living thing, animals. And both Rob and by this time I was talking to Gary Samuelson at the company, who said, "Yeah, sure. Why don't you try it on animals? It'll work on everything." And so we started pouring it on everything that walked and breathed, and with phenomenal success.
Hey, Beth, do you remember the stories? Remember Dr. Ward telling us that when he first was on it, it tasted like salt water. Then it got better, and then he had a patient come in that the patient was not well, and Dr. Rob got ill, and it went back to tasting like icky pool water. And that's what convinced him, right? Do you remember him telling that? Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's what convinced him that, okay, this is
right.
This is real.
And I didn't get it at the time, but he said, Beth, he said, when I knew that the taste changed, it made the hair stand up on my arms. He said, that was so profound that your body, depending on how compromised your body is, depending on what the taste and how the taste can change. And I didn't get it. I didn't really understand the how important that was and the impact that is. But there's a lot of scientific brains that say the same thing. They say it's very, very profound that this product, the taste changes depending on how compromised your system is. It was really remarkable. Yeah.